Hey folks, I'm Eric Kaiser with TruTech Tools, and I am down in Royce City, Texas at the Dust Free facility, and with me today is John Ellis with Dust Free, and we're here to talk to you about the Dust Free 16 air filter. John, how's it going today?
Fantastic. I'm glad you're here.
Man, this is fun.
Yeah, we got to do a little tour of the facility, and it's pretty fascinating to see that, that side of it. But today our focus is right here.
What is this, John? What is a 16 air filter?
Well, you know what? Super excited. This is 2 years in the making, and when we talk 16, we're actually talking MERV, and it's the minimum efficiency rating value. Woo! Everything's an acronym nowadays, but it's a MERV 16. This is, if I may go as far as to say, surgical grade air filtration for residential application.
All right.
What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited about this because TruTech has the opportunity here to be the first ones bringing this to the market. So that's why I'm down here talking with John today and learning more about this product. You guys are going to get to go along with us today as we learn more about this product. And John and I are going to put this together on video for you to show everybody how to put these together because they come flat packed in these boxes for shipping. So when you get this, if you buy it from TruTech, you get a box with the filter cabinet in it, and you get a box with filters in it, right?
Yeah, and as much as the product is like super awesome, I just love the boxes. They talk about that you buy a gift for the kids and they play with the box. Yeah, I totally geeked out on the box because this changes everything. To be able to walk into your customer's house with a box in each hand and have a complete filtration system of this caliber and assembles in 10 minutes, and we're going to see if that holds true in just a minute.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, the two of us, I don't know, we might be looking at 15.
Yeah, but that's okay.
You'll get to follow along and laugh with us. So when you're talking about a really good air filtration system, where are some places where this should be applied? What are some use cases for these filters?
That's a great question. Let's start off by saying that it can't be installed everywhere because there are some size restraints. But it is a premier product, and we have applications for just about every scenario that you can think of. And we send that information along with the literature, so you at least have some applicable directions to go for your HVAC system. But I'd like to say that if you have a client that is in need of some very robust indoor air quality needs, that this is going to be that product. And so the medical or the health benefits with this filtration, with particulate removal, being able to address the PM 2.5 size range and the life expectancy of the filter is all fantastic when we talk about health benefits. But let me tell you this, the mechanical benefits of this are off the chart. If this is installed with a new installation and or a retrofit, but let's talk about a new installation, you will never have to clean the ducts, the coil, the motor, the heat exchanger, ever, for the life of the system.
And anything, and ducts, you mean anything past the filter?
Anything past the filter.
Not before the filter.
Yeah. So there we go, within reason. I mean, don't hold me.
I got to throw that caveat out
We
there.
always have to put the disclaimer in there. But you know what? As an air conditioning and HVAC tech, when we look at maintenance and what it takes to maintain a system, this just takes all the pressure off of maintaining a system, keeping it clean and running optimum.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first job of any air filter on an HVAC system is to keep the equipment clean, right? And the indoor air quality is kind of secondary on a lot of air filtration systems.
Historically, that's what our industry has, that's how we've approached filtration, but I think we're way past that now.
I think we're getting past that. So MERV 16, what makes this different than other MERV 16 air filters? Because there's other MERV 16 air filters out there in the market today. What makes this different than some of those other filters?
Well, our audience is going to be HVAC strong. And so when we talk about filtration and MERV 16, there are some hurdles that we need to overcome with a MERV 16 type filter. Historically, what we got on the market now is a panel filter, and it's extended pleated, so it's like 4 or 5 inch, and we are achieving a MERV 16 rating, but the static resistance is pretty up there. And so as we're looking at system performance and delivered airflow, and of course, sensible latent and static pressure, that is huge, because when you take a big bite out of your static pressure budget, that really starts putting restraints on how you design the rest of your equipment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it makes a difference on how you design that whole system, the ductwork and everything else in the rest of that system. And the more static pressure we can have for the rest of those components, the smaller we can make them. And if that filter eats too much of it up.
Sure. We have a static pressure budget that we've got to go shopping for our system. So I mentioned that the bulk of the industry has a panel filter. Well, this filtration setup uses V-bank. So what that allows us to do is just have an astronomical amount of surface area. It's all about the surface area, and that's why we're able to achieve very low static drop.
So more surface area means less static drop, because you've got larger area to move that volume of air through.
Yep. And with that surface area, we get longer lifespan. So the cost of ownership comes way down for the end user, having a filter that's really filtering up to 98%. But the life of that V-bank setup and the amount of surface area really translate to cost of ownership and goes to the customer.
What kind of lifespan are we talking about on this?
Conservatively, we're looking to get up to 3 years on a setup filter. Now keep in mind, this is subjective. And if you're on a farm and grandpa's driving a tractor and you got 8 kids and 10 goats and 3 dogs and 18 cats running in and out and the doors are open, you're not going to get that. But most of the clients that are going to need this kind of filtration probably have a pretty darn clean house. And we could get up to 5 years on a filter depending on that environment. So again, it's all subjective.
How would somebody know that it's time to replace this filter?
And that's a great question. So we often look at beginning static. What's our static drop? And so most technicians and companies I know are measuring that stuff when you do a commissioning. So you could base it on static pressure, with Measure Quick and the TEC flow grid. If you're commissioning that way and you stick that bad boy in there and we've got X amount of CFM, that's your starting point, and we've got very low static drop, well, that's great. I would say if you're gonna do a return visit on your maintenance, whatever interval that is, the first year, measure it again. Measure it again. And then there's other parts of that conversation about particulate removal. I got all kinds of toys, so I can measure particles in, particles out. And so we can maintain it that way. But I think for most of us, that static pressure drop on the filter, day it's installed, and just track that. And then people always ask about a loading curve too. That's totally subjective. The impressive part, this is a 5-ton setup. There are 4 filters in this at about 70 square feet per filter, times 4. That is an extraordinary amount of filter area.
I had a bedroom when I grew up that was smaller than that.
Right? Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think I did
too.
Of
filter surface area.
Yeah.
So anyways, anything else really that people should know about this before we start digging in? We're going to get this unboxed, and John and I are going to go through and put this together, because I've never put one of these together. You've actually not put one together. You've seen the prototypes, but you haven't put one together out of the box.
I haven't put one together out of the box yet. I got a pretty good idea on how it's supposed to go together, but yeah, this is going to be uncharted waters for us.
You could see some interesting things here.
We might even have to think. But hey, before let's give them a peek.
All right,
just open
yeah.
the box.
Let's open this up.
Give them a little peek on what's inside the box.
Okay. So walk in. You've got a handle on both of them to be able to carry them in the house really easy.
Yeah, one in each hand. And the cool thing about this is, we've got air handlers and furnaces in all kinds of places. And so to be able to walk in and go down to a basement or into a crawl space and assemble this, because assembled it might not fit through the scuttle, or into an attic and assemble this and then install it, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and that means it's a little more configurable about where the air can come in and come out and things like that too.
It's all there. Yeah, it's all in the design.
Gasketed all the way around.
Fully gasketed.
For great bypass reduction.
Yeah,
We like that.
no bypass.
No bypass on it. That's awesome.
Our design of the pleated media here, we're using all 5 filtration methods. It's glue bead technology, and what that allows is for not only is there no bypass around the frame itself, but no bypass within the filtration media itself. So glue bead is important. That's all the better filters should be that way.
All the little things that maybe we don't realize that go into, getting good filters like that.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to dig into one of those filters a little bit more while we're here too, and
sure,
show some people a little more about what's in one of those filters.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can go out to the shop, to the bandsaw, and cut one up.
They might.
Just kidding.
All right, folks, we're back. We're ready to go into the assembly of the dust-free 16. But first, we want to introduce you to Devin. He's the engineer that designed this stuff. He's going to be watching over our shoulders today to make sure we're doing it right because, you got me and John here. You don't know what you're going to get. But assembly is going to be pretty easy because all we need is a couple of Allen bits for our drill. We need an 1/8 inch and a 5/32 Allen bit and a drill with a clutch on it. So one of the things, and we'll show this when we get into this a little bit more, the crimp nuts that are in the extruded aluminum parts of this case can spin if you hit them with an impact driver. And everything on here is machine thread. It's not sheet metal thread. So everything's going to thread in really nice. You want to have a drill with a clutch on it to make sure that you don't spin those in the aluminum extrusions, because then you won't be able to get the screws in and out easy. So, Devin,
Perfect.
Any other recommendations?
I think you got it. Like, you can definitely put this together with a conventional Allen bit. Just takes a lot longer. So I would say, hey, get the driver bits. It's going to make this job a lot easier.
Yeah. Any kind of tips that can guide us along?
Read the instruction manual on this one.
Read the instruction manual.
When all else fails.
Yeah. It goes step by step. Hey, here's your hardware. There's a required tool list in there, so it'll call out these Allen bits. All the hardware that you need is right in this bag right here, so you don't need to go shopping for hardware to actually put this unit together.
Sweet. And you said there's a little bit of extra hardware in there too. So if somebody loses something,
Exactly.
Rolls under the furnace, rolls down the drain, the dog carries it off. Yeah, okay, we got some extra pieces.
There's about 2 or 3 extra of each hardware in there. So I've dropped stuff into the insulation plenty of times. We don't need to make everyone else experience that.
Oh, yeah.
Too, so.
Especially blown in.
Yeah.
We may never see it again.
Awesome. You think we're ready, Eric? Do you trust us?
I trust you. Hop in there.
I think we're as ready as we're ever going to be. We might as well let's do this.
He's going to be watching over, so we're in good hands.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Devin.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Devin. All right, so first thing we got, that's a heck of a base. Extruded aluminum base, sides, Teflon corner pieces. There is brass inserts in the corner pieces for screws. Here's some of these crimp nuts that are in here, pressed into the aluminum. But this is where the bottom where the filters are going to set down in. So 4 filters. This is the 5-ton version.
Yeah.
Let's dig into this, see what else we got here.
So you're going to see right away, and Devin touched on this, is our bag o' hardware.
It's a lot of hardware.
This thing,
It's heavy.
that weighs about 5 pounds in and of itself. So they didn't go cheap on the hardware. This is good stainless steel hardware. And
galvanized too, it looks like in there.
Yeah, that might be a little galvanized. So let's go ahead and dig into this. So what do we got here?
There's something odd in there that I see that.
Okay, well, we don't need these. Just throw those out.
Yeah, get rid of those. We don't.
Yeah, all those are the destructions.
We're gonna. This is something interesting that I just learned. So it comes with some eye bolts in it, so that you can hang this.
That's right. Because
if you need to suspend it up somewhere.
There are going to be some applications where this filtration system will hang remotely, or if you're in a web truss, you could put some framing and it'll set there. It'll be remote from your equipment, especially when space is a commodity. And so it comes with eye bolts and a hanging kit. So that is pretty darn forward thinking, thanks to our engineer.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, this
Well,
looks...
we got a box. Here,
Yeah.
let me get my switchblade out.
Okay. All right, so panels.
Panels. Oh,
Insulated,
my goodness.
insulated panels even.
So,
And that is not fiberglass insulation either. That's nice, nice foam insulation on there. Side access. Okay, so
That-
the panels are labeled right away.
hey, but you're done with the installation and your customer wants to have a look. That is beautiful. That's only the first panel, and we're like, woo!
I'm beating up my microphone.
All
here.
right, well, here, let's look at the second panel. Oh my goodness gracious.
Same thing too. Yeah, look at that.
Is that beautiful?
It's a good looking panel.
That is
I'm geeking out on this insulation in here because so much equipment today comes with fiberglass insulation, and this I'm guessing that is some sort of closed cell foam insulation. Devin's nodding his head. Yes, closed cell foam insulation in there.
Yes, sir.
So that's some good stuff with the foil backing on the inside of it. I'm seriously impressed with that.
Yeah, no itchy and scratchy.
Yeah, no itchy scratchy.
Again,
Which
woo.
the other piece is that means it's continuous because it's a lot harder to
It is
compress that.
continuous. So we want to get every bit of our value out of that bad dude. As we go a little further, so this here, let's go ahead and cut the tape. So we'll explain what that is. Oh, medic. That's a different show.
It's a completely different show.
This is what we call a flange kit. So there's going to be air in, air out. Each end gets a flange kit. Once you install the flange kit, and we'll get there, but I just want to explain, this is ready for a plenum, for a transition, for a squared around, ready to go. Put it on, attach it.
So just like regular duct flanges, like
It's a duct flange, and this is for your attachments. Again, a plenum, squared around, transition, you name it, it'll go right onto these flanges.
inch and a quarter, inch and a half,
Inch and a half.
inch and a half long. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't you hate that comes with the little half-inch flange, and you can't hit it? Yeah, there's a no miss with this.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the flange kit, and as we go forward, you'll see where that comes into play.
Some heavy metal. That feels like about what, 22 gauge?
22 gauge.
22 gauge.
Yeah.
Man. Like I've worked with sheet metal before or something.
Well, yeah, I've never worked with sheet metal. It's like Christmas. You get all these boxes and bags and stuff to open.
Okay. Oh, hey, this is their aluminum corner extrusions.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, and there's some more of those press nuts or the crimp nuts in here, right? So the screws are going to thread into those, but they're just pressed into that aluminum. So
Yeah.
there again, don't be using those impact wrenches on this, or you're going to probably have problems.
And this is substantial aluminum. Couple things. We want rigidity and strength because these are going to be the upright posts of the cabinet, but lightweight as well. This is extruded aluminum, so this is all one continuous extruded piece. Fantastic. Look at that. I think you're onto something. Here, take that one.
Am I putting all the holes in the right direction? I don't know if I'm putting holes in the right direction. Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, they're uniform, so you can't mess it up.
Oh, trust me, John. I can mess
Oh
it
well.
up.
So show them on the side of that.
Okay. So there is a slight direction on this, right? You got holes on one side, but no holes on the other.
Right, for the Teflon corner
Right.
pieces.
You got to line up for the corner pieces to make
So,
sure.
so
they're
you
in the
got to
right
at
spot.
least be able to do that, and I think so far.
So far, I screwed one up.
Okay, that didn't take long.
Told you, I can screw a lot of stuff up.
Well, that's fantastic.
What's the? You got one more piece in there.
Yeah, we do, and so this is almost a mirror image of the first one. Well, it is a mirror image.
Close. Just these are in a different spot, right?
Right.
We got that V-bank filter in here.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, wait a minute. Are we doing this wrong?
Yeah, we are doing it wrong, aren't we?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what.
I'll split that with you.
I'm glad somebody's paying
Yep,
attention.
and so we got the hole here and the hole here, so those are gonna line up. And I'm telling you, this is so cool. Your kids could put this together.
It's like a giant erector set.
Yeah, so let's get this box out of the way and we'll pull this over to the center and we'll continue our journey. I think we're ready for some toolage. Huh,
There's our bits.
there's the bits.
1/8 inch and 5/32. Those are feeling like the screws. I'm guessing the right count here. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 2 extra. So yeah,
Yeah,
these
let
have
me
got
grab
to
a
be
few of those.
these have got to be the screws for the uprights.
And again, these are machine threads. So you got to make sure you start them right.
Yeah.
You don't want to cross thread oh man, that's like a hot knife through butter. So you might have to just give it a little
Yeah, I was
jiggle.
gonna say, I think it needs a little wiggle there to line up. I thought I was losing my brain, but you know what? I got a bit here, and that helped me because.
There you go. We'll go ahead and load that up in the tool, the power tool. Let's go ahead.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we got power tools here.
Yeah, let's get this one locked down. So again, it's a clutched drill. We got it on the lowest setting, so as soon as there's resistance, it's going to give you that. That's a technical term, by the way, in case anybody didn't know. And so we're gonna cinch these things up.
Yep.
Nice.
Clutch. No impact banging here.
Yeah.
Really light clutch.
You impact guys. Leave those in the truck.
Yeah. There we go.
Wow. Okay, let's pick this up and spin it.
Yeah.
Oh. See,
gotta throw
extra parts. I've already dropped 2, but I still have enough to get the job done. Right?
And there the whole framework's put together. That's pretty neat.
Well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say we're ready for some panels to go on.
Panels?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's do the top panel because I think we'll just rotate it as it goes.
This is your inlet or outlet, right?
Right. So the inlet and outlet won't get a panel.
Right.
So this side and this other side, there are no panels.
Right.
So we need to do a quarter turn on this.
Let me ask you something. Does this have to set upright, or can we lay this on its side or on its end?
Once this thing is assembled and you've got your direction and the filters are in place, you could hang this thing on a corner and spin it if you want, because the air don't know. Does that make sense?
I want to know what kind of ducts you're going to have that I can spin this around while it's
Spiral.
spiral.
You see what I did there?
Oh man.
Let's go ahead and
You've been hanging around Brian Orr too much.
Yeah. And so right here it says inlet,
Okay.
right? So that means that this is my return air. So my return air grill's over here. My ducting is coming here. Inlet, then the outlet will be where the equipment is.
Right. And you can flip this around if you needed to go that way.
You could put it any way you want.
Okay.
So let's see.
So filter access. So the doors marked filter access, right? They're going to go on these sides here where you would normally slide the filters in and out. Now,
Yes. So
nice snug fit there.
you can pull these filters from either side. You just need to open one or the other. And so, of course, that's going to be dictated by your application. So if I'm in an attic and I got this thing up against a wall or some trussing, we have to have at least one panel that's open and accessible for filter access. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I noticed something here. These bolts that hold the filter doors on are shouldered. Actually, all the cabinet doors are shouldered bolts.
Yeah.
So that it looks to me like these are just going to compress that insulation a little bit for air sealing.
That
but
is
they're
100%
not
correct.
They're not going to allow over compression where it mashes the metal down.
Right. If we didn't have that type of hardware, what would happen is if you go, as we do with contractors, go crunching stuff down, the panel would start to do this. We'd lose our air tightness and everything else. So that was designed purposely, purpose design, purpose driven.
Purpose design.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, let's get the other bit in this drill here.
We want it to be so user friendly that, a 5-year-old could, bring your kid to work day and they could help you assemble this.
And I have noticed that neither one of us has actually read anything out of the instructions yet, but we did kind of look at them.
That is a good point. I mean, the instructions are there for a reason. We had a pretty good idea how this thing, but when you open it up, it just screams, put me together like this.
It is kind of self-explanatory.
We haven't looked at them at all yet. Now, we still may have to, and we have them just in case. I haven't thrown them away, just so everybody knows. Oh man, that is beautiful.
When we get done and it doesn't fit where we want it to, then we'll look at them.
They will look, yeah. When you got 15 extra parts, well, then it's time to maybe look. But we do have, again, there are a couple extra pieces of hardware because we know you're right in the middle of a job and you drop something down a chase or into the insulation, you can't find it. That's not a good place to be. So, yeah.
We'll put a side access door on. Go for it.
I thought you were going to hit me with it. See how I flinched?
I wouldn't do that on video.
Not on purpose.
Not on video.
No, off camera. Wow. So far, man, that thing is, it's almost like go together.
We're doing good so far.
All right, so I think that's this panel.
I think you're back to a filter panel now, yeah.
And it looks to me like the filter panels have a barcode on them, so it's real easy. And, oh, and it says, I don't have my glasses, filter access. Talk about easy, easy peasy. All right.
I'll use the long arms. You go ahead and start putting them in.
Long arm of the law. All right, we're gonna do one more do-si-do with this thing.
Yep.
And we got one more panel.
Look at that.
Side access.
Look at that.
Man, like butter.
You know what?
So the company name is Dust Free. We're calling this the Dust Free 16 or the DF16 if you will, but their slogan is breathe the difference. And I've had people tell me when I do a very robust IAQ package with good filtration and everything, and they walk in, they're like, wow, the air feels lighter. It's like, well, yeah, you're removing pounds of crap out of the air. The air is lighter and you can breathe the difference.
Okay.
Wow.
We got a filter cabinet put together here.
Yeah. So,
Now we did screw something up here. We may have not put filters in this, so we're gonna have to take a door back off to put filters in. But we also need to talk about putting flanges on.
yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and put the filters in place first, and then we'll put the flange kit on, and we only have to flange one side. That way we're not scratching a bunch of stuff up.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
need to
we-
get our hands slapped for
We've
scratching.
been
the
down
table
that road
anymore.
already. Part of this instructional video is showing how easy the panels go on. You want to see how easy they come off?
Let's set this thing up here, and John's gonna show you how easy they come off.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Let's get some filters out here while I'm waiting on you, or while you're waiting on me or something.
Here, I'll scoot over a little bit. You can bring that front and center.
Okay.
One thing generally to keep in mind is to kind of, if you're going to install this into a system, you'd want to wait as long as you can put filters in.
Yeah, absolutely. He brought up a great point. During installation, you want to put this thing together, install it, and when you're ready to do a startup, last thing you do is put those filters in. Keep them in the box, keep the box closed, keep the box out of the attic or the crawl space until you're ready to put them in. Because the final result is having clean air, and if you dirty up the filters, well, that's kind of counterproductive. So thank you for that good tip.
And you know, one of the great things that I see about this too is you don't have to have that door in there for this to have structural rigidity.
No, those extruded aluminum.
Yeah, the extruded aluminum panels are the aluminum extrusions on the corners of the what make up the whole frame keep this thing really, really solid. Oh no, we got two more.
I had one job.
Had one job.
One job, take the screws out. But you know what? There's no I in team.
That's right.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So when we talk about putting filters in here, I want to look at the airflow filter, of course, on here. We've got our nice gasketed filters.
So this is the outlet. So that means that the arrows need to be pointed towards the outlet. And so if you back this filter out, you're going to see right here, airflow is pointed this way. So because this is a V-bank, so that means airflow is going this way towards the outlet. That's how you know you're putting them in right. Ooh, that's nice. Does that make sense?
That is a nice snug fit. It makes a lot of sense, and I love that fit in there. That's the filter racks in here, the rails that hold the filters in. I'm gonna go with probably Devin's gonna check me on this, right? 18 gauge aluminum.
18 gauge aluminum.
18 gauge aluminum. They're sturdy. They don't flex.
There's no yaw in that at all.
I mean, it's solid. So when those filters slide in there, they're fitting tight. And that's one of the things, like there is, test-wise, there's no bypass on this around the filters. Because of the way it was built, these don't bypass air around the filters. So they get that high MERV rating actually when it's installed in the system, rather than just the MERV rating on the filter. There you go.
Man, that
Snug a
is
fit.
something else.
Thank you, sir. Airflow, airflow. Match up the arrows. Slide it home.
And as you're pushing, just kind of push from the two ends.
Yeah, push from the two ends. Okay. Yep. And it is a very snug fit in there.
Yeah, and you know, with traditional filtration that we have on the market, that is the biggest problem. You get a filter in a cabinet doing this. That's a ton of blow by. Ain't none of that going on here, I tell you.
No, not at all.
Oh my goodness! So let's give a little spin around.
There we go. Yeah, spin that around. So that's
look
what
at that.
your filter bank looks like. And this is for the 5-ton or 2,000 CFM of air. And we're talking about a 0.18 static pressure drop.
Static pressure drop. When you get down to the 4-ton, which is 1,600 CFM, woo, that static drop is dropping.
Dropping.
So we're at a 0.13.
Check on the instructor.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
that.
man.
We'll go over that in a
The
minute.
engineer says read the instructions.
But yeah, it just dropped. And you know what? For those guys that want to do super duper performance, you put one of these bad boys on a 3-ton, oh my goodness, you're going to be below a 1/10 of an inch of static resistance.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Ridiculously good, I'd say.
Ridiculously good. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's do a little turn on this and we'll get our panel put back on. I find...
Well, let's put the flanges on here. So we've got 2 different length flanges, right, for the 2 sides.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea.
So screws go like so.
Do the holes line up? That's always a good indicator.
Holes line up,
Yeah.
and
so,
the flanges make connections with each other at the corners,
yes, they do.
which I like. That's
Yep.
a nice snug fit there.
And so you're going to find, and we'll tilt this up, but there's a little gap about a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, the gap here. Yeah, that looks like a little more than a half.
I would. Oh, you're talking about on
Yeah.
that corner.
So when you do a fitting to go over this, more than likely it's going to have a flange on it. So that flange would set right in here. So it'll be like a flange over flange. That gives rigidity to your fitting. You could do a raw end. If you wanted to do a raw end on your transition or your plenum or whatever it is, but a lot of times, as a sheet metal guy, I always put a flange on them for rigidity. And that would sit right in here. And then you could go ahead and attach. Lots of room to hit a screw in here. You're not going to miss this flange. And then you go ahead and seal it up.
Yeah, and I would say that this gap in here too, if you had that 1/2 inch flange on the end of your duct that you're going to drop down over this, that's a great place to stick some caulk in there.
Absolutely.
And boy, that's going to be
It's going to be tight.
beautifully tight.
And actually, for those of you that do sheet metal, a flange over flange is considered a correct mechanical attachment when you're talking about sheet metal. You know, other than a government lock or an S and drive or whatever, but flange over flange is just a solid way to do a connection.
I mean, I could see having a, you know, just S-locks all the way around there too. I could see some people maybe doing that.
You could do that too if you wanted to do raw end on your fittings, S-locks all the way around. That would be like super bulletproof.
Yeah, that would really go in there.
And you know what? Now that you're mentioning that, a government lock flange would slip right over this and seal up if that's the kind. So this is residential. There are some commercial applications as well. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to note here, if you look at these two bits, right, that we're using, I got two different style bits. Okay, we got an extended bit and we've got a short bit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say the extended bit is the one you want for this, especially for putting these flanges on, because
a little tight, huh?
It's a little tight to get the drill in there on that short bit to put these flanges down.
And
so I'm not going to bolt them all down because I'm going to bend the flanges.
Most of us have bit extenders.
Yeah.
So, look at that.
Here comes the bit extender.
Oh,
right?
Wow, he read our mind. Look at that.
Yeah. Bit extender.
And most of us have that in our tool pouch anyway.
Yeah.
So I would, you know, if this is going to be a premium product you're offering, you'll have your whole kit that's meant for just doing this.
Very possibly. But definitely want to make sure you have that handy so that you don't bend those flanges as you're tightening them down.
And so I want to make a note that we didn't go quite as heavy on this sheet metal because we still need to be able to get a screw through it. And so it should be no problem. So even a zip screw with a point will go right into this.
Yeah, because that's 24 gauge, I'm thinking? 22 on those? Okay. So, but that's literally all it takes. I put two flanges on there, two more to do. I can spin it around and put those on. But man, that's easy to connect to for ductwork.
And that was the whole purpose. So the beautiful thing about the evolution of this is ease. We want the end user to have no problems with this. The size is a little different, so you're not going to be able to buy off the counter, fittings. But most people are making their own fittings anyway, transitions. So in theory, this could go over. You would have a transition going from this to your furnace or to your air handler. Here's a cool thing: this dimension here is the same dimension as a furnace. So now you're only making one transition. You're not making a double transition. There's just one transition, bottom flat, and go right to this.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could, obviously this is plenty sturdy. If you had to, you could make a small transition on here and literally just set a furnace right on top of this.
You absolutely could. Yeah, there's enough.
Or an air handler.
Or an air handler. There's enough strength here.
Yeah.
And what's cool, obviously an air handler heat pump is a different chassis coming in at like 20 by 20 or whatever they may be. Right? So then
it depends on the air handler.
It depends on the air handler, but they're definitely a smaller chassis or a different configuration on the footprint than a furnace.
Yeah, depth-wise.
And so if you had to set an air handler on top of this, you'd put your flange kit, you would put a cap over this, and you would cut out for your air handler and fold a flange, and it would sit right over the flange. That would give it rigidity and stiffness, and then so you got to think outside the box sometimes, but that would be an excellent way to actually set an air handler or
even making a slight, a 4 or 6 inch tapered transition.
Yeah, you could do that. Of course, there's so many variables. Do you have the max headroom? And so there's some different things, but just to give you an idea of the versatility of this thing, think outside the box sometimes. Get it? Think outside the box.
Outside the box.
Outside the box.
We're not putting the bottom flanges on here.
I don't think,
no. Table.
No, we're not. But I just want you to see it. This is beautiful.
It really is. From an engineering standpoint, from a design standpoint, I really appreciate things that are built like this. This is bar none the best built filter cabinet I've ever seen.
Yes. Let's just briefly let's show the hanging kit and how that would work. So let's grab a couple eyelets. We just give a quick overview. I'll pick these screws up in a minute.
Yeah, we can trip on them for a little bit. We won't go far.
Yeah.
The floor's only right there. So that's a great point. Where do these go?
So what you would do, drill.
Yeah, got one.
So you would go ahead and back out one of these screws, actually 4 of them. And you wouldn't be putting this on your access panel because it needs to come in and out. And our threads are the same. And I want you to see there's a backing nut here. So this would thread into here. Like so. You would go all the way till it bottoms out. I think. Oh, it goes all the way through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you go in and then you would take this screw and you would tighten it and lock it down. And then there would be 4 of these, and then you could use cable straps, and you would do a, like stainless steel cable, or anything actually, and then you could hang them from here.
You could hang it with chain or.
Yeah, chain's a good one. Jack chain. Yeah. And so that's the hanging kit. Now, if ultimately if it's suspended off of a back end of a unit, you could actually use some screws and scrap, because a lot of people use metal strap. You could do unistrut and all thread and just support this thing. So, I mean, think outside the box. There is a multitude of applications on how you do that. But that's the hanging kit. So there'd be 4 of them. And it's meant to hold the weight.
If you're going to do unistrut and all thread, just don't put the all thread in front of your access door for your filter.
Do it this way. or in front of the blower motor.
In front of the blower motor, in front of heat exchangers. I've seen them all over the place. It's always interesting where somebody will stick a piece of all thread. Thank you, sir.
As far as installation location on this, just make sure in front of wherever your filter access is going to be that you have at least the depth of the filter, which is 27 inches.
Good point.
Really clear.
So what he's saying here is this filter is 27 inches in depth. So you have to have at least 28 inches to slide it out. Because I've done commercial work so many times, and they hang them above T-bar ceilings, and you fold or roll up your filter to slide it in and unroll it, 1 inch. Please.
Yeah, you bend the filter in half just to be able to
get
work
it
it in there.
There won't be none of that with this.
No.
So.
Yeah, if you bend one of these filters, you're doing something pretty good, because those are a stout filter. But you're going to ruin, if you deform that filter, you're going to destroy the seal on the outside of it.
Oh, it's compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
well, what do you think?
I'm impressed.
For a couple of rookies, we did pretty good.
I think we did all right. We only screwed up a couple of times, but hey, that's what happens the first time.
And they weren't catastrophic screw ups, so a little grace, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
How do we do, Devin?
Excellent.
And we still didn't
Fantastic.
get the instructions out.
And did you guys notice that? We still haven't looked at the instructions, and we put it together. Now, on the instructions, by the way, there's some performance data that's good to know about, and there's some illustrations about applications, attaching it to a furnace, doing it remote. Also, in the near future, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out on a limb here. We're getting this thing out the door, and so eventually we're going to be selling this with transition kits ready to go, squared arounds ready to go. Slip them over, screw them in. We'll have the round part, different diameters to accommodate different things. And so our job as we move forward, again, is to make this as user-friendly as we possibly can. For those whose marketplaces are in basement sets, we're gonna have a pedestal where the furnace sets here, and then the unit will set right next to it. The cutouts will all be there. It's going to be insulated. It's going to be stiff metal to hold the weight. So you have your furnace sitting here. You have this sitting next to it. And then you do your transition, maybe a flex connector, and go up and hit your drops. And so that is something that it's all been drawn up. And that's something that's coming too real quick. We just need to get this out the door. And we're there. Yep.
Pretty close.
All right.
We'll have it in stock soon.
Yeah. So thank you for this part, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks, everybody.